best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test. To train them is my cause.
Hello everyone, morning, good afternoon, evening, good night, wherever you are. It's Advocate of Pants here with a new episode of The Advocate Discusses. This is a topic that I've been wanting to do for a while. Now is the perfect opportunity to do so. That is, of course, Pokémon, a topic which needs no introduction. And yeah, I decided to go ahead and do this one because the 20th anniversary is coming up. This is a big year for the franchise. This is a great time to be a Pokemon fan. I'm not gonna lie. This is a big part of my childhood. I grew up with anime. Initially, I followed the anime. Got up Saturday morning watching my kids' WB, and got into the video games and the trading card game. And for me, it was almost the end of my time in middle school. It was around, of course, the third generation of the series, Ruby and Sapphire, Colosseum. Colosseum was the first one I actually sat down and played. And EX Deoxys was the expansion that got me into the card game. And that being right around the time Destiny Deoxys, the movie, that launched. And I've played through all the main series games and some of the spin-offs. Among my favorite spin-offs, the Mystery Dungeon games, so they have that. And I also enjoy the Pokémon games. I have both of them, and I've played both multiple times. They're fun. Played Rumble Blast, and yeah, I played quite a bit of them. So anyway, there's a lot to say about Pokemon. Just not just my own thoughts about it, but just in general. I mean, it's surged. I mean, it wouldn't have made it this far if it wasn't popular. And even though Gen 3 was kind of a low point for it, you know, it's still doing really well. The games have sold some better than others, but in any case, yeah, they've got plenty of. There's still plenty of strength and it's not really any clear way of saying it. It's just that big. Now, the main parts of the franchise, I'm gonna focus on talking about mostly the anime, the video games, the trading card game. Not so much on the manga because I've only read some of that, and I've only read, you know, there's multiple manga serials as they're called. I've only read some, like, read a little bit of Rebirth, but kind of hard to do that because I only took 1 year of Japanese in high school, so I can only read basic stuff. And there is no English, as far as I know. It's been a while since I've actually looked it up. Personally, I thought Rebirth was kind of a cool idea, and yeah, it was certainly something different for the series. Besides that, there's Pokemon Adventure, which is the main one, and there's some other oddballs. I've read some of Pokemon Adventures, they're pretty good. And yeah, I haven't read as much to really be able to talk a lot about them. They're good, they're worth looking into, or if you already have read quite a bit of them, or if you've read them all, they're worth it. At least I would say so. Now the anime, I've been watching it on and off since the beginning, but I have seen most of the series. I've seen everything up to part of the way through X and Y Season 1. I've seen most of the movies. Some of the movies are good, some of the movies could have been better. And some, well, for me, I would say one of my personal favorites of the movies. Personally, I thought Destiny Beyond was pretty cool. And most recently, I actually had the chance to watch Beyonce and the Decree of Destruction. That one was good. And, yeah, overall, the anime, I like it. I mean, some episodes are a little weaker than others, but some episodes are really good. Main episodes I like to see in the anime. I like to see the gym battles, the Pokémon League battles. Yeah, the major segments, the milestones, the journey, and in the case of Gen 3 and 4, you have Ruby and Sapphire, Pokemon Advanced, up to the Diamond and Pearl series, the contests. Those were nice. Those were fun. And Battle Frontier, that one didn't stick with me as well because it just being what it was. But the Battle Frontier was still cool. The battle scenes, just all the stuff that happened during that arc. Haven't admittedly seen Chronicles. However, Chronicles is kind of a side series that happened around the same time as the Battle Frontier season. So, yeah. Anyway, in terms of the series itself, you have the series, as far as what season or what saga really sticks out for me, that's kind of tough, actually. Diamond and Pearl, I felt it had the Diamond and Pearl series. Personally, it's the one intro of that set that I did not like. I'm talking, of course, the English opening. The other three, I like those. I just didn't really care for the Diamond and Pearl Season 1 opening. Mostly because it just didn't fit. I didn't think it really fit. And yeah, because you compare it to the three that followed, and he's out of place. And Battle Frontier, the Battle Frontier English opening was the same in comparison to the English opening for Advanced Challenge, and Advanced Battle. It was just kind of the odd one out. All the openings before it, Season 1, Season 2, those were good. And even the Black and White series openings, even though their series, the version in the series is short, the full cut that they used in the movies, those are good. And the fact that actually X and Y Season 1, it brought back just a remix of the original opening. I thought that was cool. And whoever put that together did a really good job on that. Now the video games. Actually, there's kind of a bridge. Like the manga, specifically Pokemon Adventure, is kind of an adaptation of games. Just kind of loose, very loose adaptation. Then the trading card game that tends to borrow stuff from the video games. Sometimes it borrows stuff from the anime. Sometimes the anime will borrow stuff from the game. Like, they just borrow stuff from each other. Anyway, the video games. I I do have to agree that X and Y could have had more. They were still fun games. I do still consider them worth it if you just want that. If you want to try them out, you want to play through them, they're worth it. And yeah, really all I would have to say is just the main complaints I have with X and Y is, first off, the fact that the Elite Four and the Champion don't get stronger. After you beat them once, I admit it was one of those things that when I saw it myself for the first time, I wasn't expecting that. I level grind my team so I can go back and take on the Elite Four that second time. But in my playthrough of X, I had my team up to about 82-ish, only to find that their teams were exactly the same as I fought them before. I was disappointed because it ended up being just too easy. And also, the post-game was kind of short. The post-game was really, really short, almost non-existent compared to the previous games and compared to just any of them, really. Even the remakes of Ruby and Sapphire. But if anything, the Battle Maison, Battle Resort, whichever pairing game you're playing in Gen 6, I like that because I like messing around with that stuff. But the Red Safari, I personally thought it was kind of a gimmicky deal. It's just like, hey, look at this location. It's useless if you don't have any friends. You should probably make some friends, exchange those friend codes. Otherwise, this building serves no purpose to you. I personally think that was kind of a poor idea. Like, the idea of having safaris and battles more like regular Pokémon battles, regular wild encounters, that was a nice change, but just the premise of the friend safari, it is useless unless you have any other friend codes on your system. Swing and a miss, some like it, some didn't. I personally, I've used it, but it's just something they could have implemented maybe a little better. I have it have some use even if you don't have any other friends. And the other miscellaneous stuff, like finding all the other parts of the region, going after the Kanto birds, Mewtwo, Zygarde. Yeah. That was... It didn't really take me too long to actually get to each of those areas. I mean, the Zygarde battle was just more or less the same kind of premise as the Origin mascot fight. It's just as easy. Get down the yellow health, done. Mewtwo took far more tries. And yeah, X and Y's post-game could have had more. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the Battle Maison is all it really needed. But for me, I like the challenge of hunting legendary Pokemon and refighting the Pokemon League and doing all of that stuff on top of battling NPCs, the battle tower equivalent. And yeah, I see where people are coming from, and I can agree. The X and Y's post-game were a little lacking. Alpha and Omega, they brought the legends, they brought all the extra stuff, and no joke, I've had X since it I've had X and Y since they launched, and I've had Alpha and Omega since they launched. X and Alpha Sapphire were the main files, with Y and Omega Ruby being the ones I restarted. I have more playtime on Alpha Sapphire than I do on X. Because in Alpha Sapphire, I've been doing a lot of Dax nav hunting, and I've been doing some battle resort battles and super training, Pokemon me. I caught all the different legendary Pokemon you can get. Off the top of my head, I'd say my Pokedex is a little bit fuller than it is on X. Yeah. But still, in X and Y, the daily rival battle's nice. And personally, I get a kick out of it. I do get a bit of a kick out of just going through and one-shotting everything. On that file, I have some level 100s. On Alpha Sapphire, I have some level 100s. It is somewhat amusing to just one-shot everything, especially if it's with your starter, or if it's just some Pokemon that you can get relatively easy. And for me, one Pokemon that I used in Alpha Sapphire was Mightyena. Yeah, it's fun. And another thing I do in the games, there's filling in the Pokédex. Yeah, sometimes I'll just go around and I'll use the attack thief just to build up a stockpile of items. Speaking in terms of games prior to Gen 6, I mentioned Coliseum being the first one I actually sat down and played. But I have played through all the main ones, and it just I said in the intro segment. And of the main ones, I don't really have a set favorite generation. I mean, 3 was where I started playing the games, but that doesn't mean I discount Gen 1, Gen 2, or whatever. I'm not that kind of person. I play them all, I've played them all, I like them all. Some are better than others, yes, but they're all Pokemon. And people gripe like, oh, these Pokemon are unoriginal or whatever. Reverse the order of the generations and people would still be saying the exact same thing. It's an argument that it's just been shot down repeatedly, that people just, some people just gotta play. They gotta have the rose-tinted glasses on, they gotta have nostalgia glasses on. It's really annoying. Anyone who's heard those kinds of conversations. And since the days of Gen 5, I've done quite a bit of Wi-Fi battles, strictly online battles, and yeah, I do like to battle, and I also am admittedly addicted to wonder trading. I actually made a Beaver's post about how fun and addictive wonder trading is, and I've had a few people agree with me on that. And yeah, I like wonder trading. I'm really happy that they added that to the series. And the random matchup feature that exists in the battle spot, carry over from Gen 5, of course, but it's also a nice feature. I like it that they added that. What got me into caring about Wi-Fi battling, it was just battling through the global link in Black and White and Black and White 2, and they had the different battle challenges, and those were fun. I played those, got the free items or the free Pokemon that they were giving out, and personally I felt, win or lose, I got the reward for just being in the competition, and I feel satisfied. And with the current Global Link, the Gen 6 Global Link, battled in most of the tournaments they've had for that. I actually did some battles at the International Challenge. Wasn't expecting to place anywhere near the top, but I just wanted to get in there, battle some, and get the participation gift. And yeah, in terms of battling, I know what I'm doing. I know how to build a team, but at the same time, I'm relatively casual. Winning is fun, winning is nice, but it's not the end of the world if you lose. It's somewhat annoying if you scrub out, but just try again later. No big deal. I've done free battles against random people through Battle Spot. And yeah, speaking of Global Link, actually, 5th Gen Global Link, if you didn't play Gen 5 or if you weren't able to access the Global Link, oh boy, did you miss arguably one of the best features of the game. At least I think so. It was the generation that brought hidden abilities into the series, where some Pokemon can have a second or a third ability, but those said abilities could only be initially accessed by grabbing Pokemon from the Global Link, the Pokemon Dream World. Such a nice feature, and I took advantage of it. I played on there as often as I could. And the idea behind it is, the main draw was to get Pokemon from it. The Black and White 1 iteration was to get non-region Pokemon, get free Gen 5 Pokemon, since there was a lot of those you couldn't get without transferring. The thing is, all the Pokemon you got from the Global Link, their hidden ability, and then Black and White 2 added Gen 5 Pokemon into the mix, and it just expanded the list of Pokemon you could get with hidden abilities. One of the ones I'm personally fond of is Hidden Ability Poniard. That is, Poniard with Pressure for the ability. I used one in competitive. Such a nice ability, and the one I got originally was female, so yeah, the way Gen 5 mechanics work for breeding is the female is the one that has the chance of passing down the ability, especially if it's a hidden ability female. So hidden ability females were sought after in Gen 5, but now, Friend Safari, the only real point to it was finding hidden ability Pokemon. And the Dex Nav in Alpha, Sapphire, and Omega Ruby just makes hidden ability Pokemon far easier to find. Rack up a high encounter number, and you'll have a better chance of seeing hidden ability Pokemon. But if there's one nice thing about the Friend Safari, it's that depending on the Pokemon type of the A Safari you get, and just kind of the way the stuff works out, you might end up finding the mid form of one of the starter Pokemon. That's cool, being able to catch starter Pokemon. So there is that, catching Pokemon that you normally wouldn't find in the wild. That's cool. So I can at least say that's one spot where they succeeded. But anyway, yeah, I remember when they unveiled the 6th Gen Global Link. I was kind of disappointed. just the fact that there was no dream world. Like, yeah, arguably they don't need one. Berry growing. That was another big component of the 5th gen Global Link. Growing berries, because there was no way of actually farming them in-game. The only way of getting berries was mostly through the Pokemon Ranger NPCs. Defeat them in battle and they give you a berry of a particular type. And then there were some other locations where you could get certain berries, but it made them incredibly rare. So the idea was you farmed them in the Global Link, you farmed them in your Dream World Garden, and then you sent them to your game. But the thing is, whatever item you got, whether you got an item through one of the mini games, or you got an item, got a bunch of berries or something like that, you can only send them in batches of 20, and you're restricted to only playing on the Dream World once a day, and you were capped at an hour. So, yeah, the time restriction, they had the reasons, but it's like, sometimes you lose track of time. Sometimes it just goes by so quick, but they did warn you if your time was about to end. I actually did see that notification a few times. But it isn't to say the Global Link in Gen 6 isn't bad. I mean, you could still get some items that you wouldn't normally be able to get in-game reliably, like some of the berries you can get in the attractions of the Global Link are ones you normally wouldn't be able to get in-game. And some of the items you can buy in the Pokemileage shop on the Global Link are items that you can get in-game, but they're hard to come by, or they're at least hard to get in bulk. Like, for example, the PP ups and the max survives and stuff like that. Being able to stockpile PP ups, if there's anything, that's PP ups and PP maxes are really the thing that I look forward to. The two items I look forward to getting the most in the lottery, the Lotto ID, and speaking in terms of Alpha, Sapphire, and Omega Ruby, it'd be in Lily Cove, the Lily Cove department store. In X and Y, it's actually one of the buildings in Ludio City. And yeah, obviously the big prize is the Master Ball. There's only been a few Pokemon I've actually felt the need to use the Master Ball on. The main ones being roaming Pokemon in the games that had them, and certain other ones that I just didn't feel like I was adequately prepared for, like for Pokemon Black and the Kyurem, because my highest was the level 70 Volcarona you get from Relic Castle, and in Alpha, Sapphire, and Omega Ruby, Deoxys, level 80. That freshly caught Rayquaza was my strongest Pokemon at level 70. But hey, I have a Deoxys, everybody has a Deoxys, if they played Alpha or Omega. I do have to say, I'm very much happy that Pokemon has gone full 3D in terms of the main series, but I would still like to see more games done in the style of Coliseum or even just another stadium would be cool. Being able to connect your 3DS to the Wii U and just Pokemon Stadium for Wii U. But they wouldn't have to really name it any kind of, give it any kind of fancy title. Pokemon Stadium U, that worked fine. And yeah, because I do still have a Nintendo 64 transfer pack. I have both Pokemon Stadium games, and I loaded my copy red or blue or yellow to the stadium. And it's fun, and also connected my DS to Battle Revolution. I still haven't done that in a while, but it's the same idea. It's still pretty fun. But I really think they missed an opportunity to make something like that for Gen 5. And maybe we'll get something like that, but hey, it's whatever. I'm personally looking for the Pokémon tournament. I'm excited for that. I got it pre-ordered. And I'm playing that quite a bit. And speaking in the terms of the classic games coming back, I have Pokemon Red. I plan on getting that on my 3DS, new 3DS, you could say. It's whatever. You know, some like red, some like blue, some like in the bundle just have face plate, the cover plates, and yeah, I get one. I have one game on the that I know I'm getting now, or on the 27th. I can just get the other one at a later time. I mean, the cover plates are cool looking, and they're cool, but it's I've got the new 3DS XL, and I like it. I'd say the new 3DS XL is worth it. I mean, but anyway, back to Pokemon. Yeah, we can use another stadium game. That's definitely. But among the other spin-offs, just going back to what I said before, I have both Pokemarks. Those are pretty fun. They're pretty laid back, but they do have their darker moments. The Mystery Dungeon series, I really like those. And, they're a lot of fun. And they can be surprisingly dark. They can really nail you. Out of the Mystery Dungeon series, I've played Red Rescue Team, and speaking in terms of ones I've actually played to relative completion, Red Rescue Team, I beat the main story, and Gates to Infinity, I cleared the whole thing, and Super Mystery Dungeon, I'm in the epilogue, just got you. So I've made some good progress there. Other spin-offs, I personally enjoyed Conquest. It was definitely a different Pokemon game. It was a different kind of game. It was Pokemon for the Pokemon series, but it doesn't mean to be bad. I mean, some parts were kind of challenging, but hey. It's like any other game in that style. It's tactics, like Final Fantasy Tactics or Advanced Wars. It's a variation of chess. If you want to think of it that way, you have a team, everybody goes this way. Actually, Fire Emblem is another series that tends to work that way. And I haven't actually played Conquest in a while, but it is still a fun one. It's if you want something different in Pokemon, there you go. It's one game that'll give you something different. The older spin-offs, I already mentioned Stadium games. Pokemon Snap, that's one that I have, one that I do enjoy. It's fun just messing around on there. And I have Pokemon Channel. Pokemon Channel's fun. It's if you want something that's relatively just a casual thing like Stadium, like the Snap, for example. Stadium and Stadium 2 and Battle Revolution, those tend to be if you just want to battle. But Stadium and Stadium 2 have the mini games. Battle Revolution doesn't. It was, if anything, your trade is something like Battle Revolution because it was just a very stripped down Stadium, and it was especially disappointing after Coliseum and Gale of Darkness. But hey, some liked it because it added online battling. You could battle over Wi-Fi, just as you could with the DS games, the Gen 4 games. So that was cool. You're giving up one thing in exchange for something new. So it works out pretty well. I mean, I never used it. But that's just what it is. But one of the main things is I didn't really do a lot of Wi-Fi battles in Gen 4. Especially when after finding out there'd be hackers everywhere. Because PokeSav was the newest thing. It was everywhere. You had people PokeSaving their teams and then porting them to an R4 flash cart. So you have the debate over emulation on top of people who just have no respect for the game that they feel the need to hack. Yes, it's one thing to use the action replay or game shop or whatever just on your own time to goof off, but if you're actually using that stuff, if you're actually intending to go against other people, there's no need to hack or cheat in any way. And it doesn't matter if you put the word legal or anything like that in front of it. Hacking is cheating. Simple as that. So, I didn't mind battling over the global link because that stuff's monitored, and personally, I applaud Nintendo and Game Freak for implementing all of these filters, having all these software updates to mostly to crack down on the cheaters. And that is the issue of hacking. Why I prefer not to battle people over Twitch. I'm not a Twitch user anyway. It's just the days of Gen 4 and even Gen 5, and even now, still now, you have people that battle over YouTube, and surprise, surprise, they hack. With Gen 6, you have PokeGen, but it's the same kind of program. It's a third-party program that you use to generate Pokemon that you shouldn't necessarily be able to get. So, yeah, and what's even more insulting is on YouTube you have videos of people talking about how to use this stuff, or on Twitch you have people just making offhand remarks about building, quote-unquote, building a particular team, and yeah, whenever there's a new software update for the games, I make sure to get those because I like being able to play my games on a respectable level, and it's what I said before. When you're going against other people, when you're playing, especially if you're someone who competes in VGC, hacking has no place there. Simple as that. And I'm not alone in feeling that way. It's just disrespectful, not just to the game, but to the community and to the people that make those games. It's one thing to mess around with that stuff on your own time, but don't mess with it if you're planning on competing against other people. It's uncalled for. It sucks the fun right out of it. At Gen 5, there was a kind of the same deal. People emulating the game on a flash cart and playing it through, running it through a generator kind of deal. But it was Gen 4 all over again. But I think they've made some big steps forward with Gen 6. Just the way they've been able to crack down. And so yeah, I do feel good about battling over Wi-Fi through the PSS and through the Global Link. And still, I'm kind of casual about it. I do take time to put a team together, but at the same time, I just battle for fun, battle to have some fun, goof off in a way. I mean, I obviously do try to win, but I'm a good sport about it. Although not everybody is. Admittedly, I had some intentional disconnects. One of them was a global Link tournament I did in Black 2. One of my matches, my opponent disconnected. And there was this one recently. It may have been a battle I was just doing over Battle Swap, like a free battle or something. But again, intentional disconnect. Why do you play the game if you just can't do that? Yeah, I've played a lot of the different Pokemon games here and there. I have a lot of different games, and there's just some that stick with me better than others. Like for example, the Coliseum, first one I actually sat and played, and Battle Revolution. One thing that sticks with me with Battle Revolution is actually when I read the main NPC, the main helper character, Anna, I give her kind of stereotypical Middle Eastern voice. It's just because it's not meant to be derogatory in any way. It's just something I just felt like doing. It's just become my thing for whenever I have that. I read Anna's voice I read Anna's dialogue in the Iranian or whatever accent, just as a laugh. Those just some examples. Now, shifting gears over to the trading card game, I already said EX Deoxys was the expansion that I started with. Picked up the pre-constructed theme decks, learned how to play. It was just a family thing at first, but then I found out about the league and ended up getting into that in high school. Even the whole time I've been playing the trading card game, I've got some older cards, talking e-reader era cards from the TCG, and I even have some stuff from the base sets, first and second gen cards. So I've got an expansive collection, and over the time I've been picking up the trading cards stuff, I haven't really done all that much trading, but besides league play, I've played some matches. Because starting off, when I got into the league, I didn't have a lot of cards to really build with. I just threw some decks together so I could play in the league, but I did not have a DS at the time, so I was only able to do trading card duels rather than link battles with Diamond and Pearl. Yeah, even with the trading card games, I have some power cards, I have some pretty strong decks, but even then I'm still kind of casual with it. haven't actually played the Pokemon card game in a while because let's just not really having anyone to play with. But yeah, I still pick up the cards here and there. I still like to collect them, and it's just kind of a little bit of a distraction. I like it. And with the anniversary, and the 20th anniversary of the series, and releasing the Generation expansion, I totally had this when I first found it, first read the announcement and everything. I'm going to be buying a lot of Pokemon cards this year, throughout this year, because there's the mythical Pokemon bundles that they'll be releasing to coincide with the mystery gifts for the main series games. I have you, and I'm just eagerly awaiting the rest of them, 1 month at a time. So, needless to say, I'm ready for it. And the 27th, I already have to go to GameStop to get the download code for Pokemon Red. I'm thinking I'm gonna try to make it out to Toys R Us and just duck in there, make a little bit. All in all, I'm excited for that. I'm excited to get some packs of generations. To see what they put in there, see if I pull anything exciting. Because there's supposed to be some new EX Pokemon, or some EX versions of the Kanto Trio, the Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur. It's supposed to be EX versions of each of them. Some, I think there was like a Pikachu EX or something. Yeah, I'm tripping over my words. That's how excited I am. Anyway. Well, I've talked about the anime, I've talked about the video games, I've talked about the trading card game. Those are the main three things that I am most knowledgeable about, because they're really the things that I've messed with the most. I have my likes and dislikes. You know, I like some aspects more than others. Like, as I already stated with the video games, you know, I like playing the games for the story mode. X and Y did have a really good story. Yeah, even if Team Flare was a reskin of Team Rocket, Lysander, you know, just when you thought Cyrus was nuts, you know, wanting to, you know, just use Team Galactic as a means of resetting everything. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that would have led to some casualties, but the fact that Lysander, or even in Black and White 2, Gexus, just, yeah. I mean, you can compare Gexus to almost a Pokemon version of Hitler, but, oh dear. Yeah, Lysander was probably one of the craziest in terms of main villains, of wanting to even kill his own followers. It was literally, no joke, there's comparisons to the Church of Scientology, or in the case of pre-Lutheran Catholicism, pre-Martin Luther Catholicism, the idea of buying your way to salvation. Literally, with Team Flare, of course, getting paid to join, kind of like Scientology or Catholicism, you know, just old Catholicism. The idea of paying indulgences, literally buying her way to heaven. Yeah, pretty messed up. No joke about that. It's kind of hard to say who's beyond that, who was the worst in terms of who had the most messed up plan. Like Team Rocket, they were the mafia. They wanted to strike it rich off of exploiting Pokemon for their own goals. Team Aqua, Team Magma, Eco-Terrorist, Team Aqua, they wanted to flood the world. Team Magma wanted to dry the world. And in the process, they wake up both Groudon and Kyogre, and they cause far more damage than what they anticipated. It's up to Rayquaza to set things right. Team Galactic, of course, Cyrus he was thinking of his own ambitions the whole time. He just wanted to reset the world, and through fighting some of the Team Galactic members, both the grunts and the commanders, they had no idea what was going on. They were just stealing Pokemon, doing all this stuff. They didn't know why. Cyrus was the one with the plan. He was the one who knew what was going on. That was cool how they set that up. Plasma, going from old Team Plasma, comparing up to Neo Team Plasma. Same as with the two iterations of Team Rocket. Team Rocket, they didn't change between generations. They were still all about the money. Now Plasma, though, you had old Team Plasma who was more loyal to N, and then you had Neo Team Plasma who was more loyal to Ghetsis. The half of Team Plasma that was loyal to N, you can understand where they were coming from. There were Pokemon being mistreated, being misused, whatever. So you can sympathize with them on that. Compare that to Ghetsis. In both cases, both iterations of Team Plasma, he was the one behind the strings. He was the man behind the curtain. It's just Neo Team Plasma. That's where Ghetsis makes his true intentions known. He just wants to rule the world by being the only person who has Pokemon, who has access to Pokemon. And when he actually captures Kyurem and then uses it as a generator for his cannon, that's really messed up. But it actually goes with what's been alluded to in the manga and in Colosseum and Gale of Darkness, Pokemon actually being used as weapons against humanity. So it takes a darker turn there. Kind of a realistic turn at that. Team Plasma, again, another realistic turn is the fact that they're not so much PETA as they are like the Humane Society, the ASPCA, that kind of thing. This really just, they want to help the Pokemon. Ghetsis is Team Plasma, not so much. He wants to control everything. But yeah, finally, Lysander, the Team Flare, they are all about beauty and everything, creating a beautiful world. Lysander's idea of a beautiful world is one where he is the only man in existence. That's all. At the end of the day, it's just like, yeah, you can buy your way into Team Flare, but that doesn't mean you're going to be around for very long. I mean, you're just, you're signing your own end. And Team Snag'em and Team Cypher, Cypher and Team Snag'em, speaking in Colosseum and Gale of Darkness, that was a cool idea. The Shadow Pokemon mechanic, I liked it. And a lot of people liked it. It was just something different. Something they've never done before, and it's really something that they need to revisit. Does that mean it'll happen? Probably not. If they did, oh boy, people would be excited for it. It would be worth it to just revisit that, and yeah, it would definitely be something worth revisiting. I mean, why not? Why not? You know, you could really make a killing, because there you'd have your Stadium Wii U, and you would have Coliseum 3. You would have a third or a region game, and you would have a 6th gen Stadium game all in one. And that's what Coliseum and Gale of Darkness were. They were the major way of getting Kanto and Johto region Pokemon. You know, if you didn't have access to Fire Red or Leaf Green, or if you didn't have the Kanto remakes, you were just playing Ruby or Sapphire or Emerald. Fire Red, Leaf Green, obviously, Gen 1 remakes. The majority of the Kanto roster, the entire Kanto roster is going to be guaranteed to be there. And the Semi Islands, that gave a big chunk of the Johto roster, the rest being split between Coliseum and Yellow Darkness. And then even some Kanto region Pokemon split between Coliseum and Yellow Darkness. Not very many Poland Pokemon though, because Ruby and Sapphire compare that, and we'll be the same. Coliseum and Yellow Darkness, another reason they resonate so well with me. There was something that it was an experiment that went really well. And those are games that I do like to play in repeated playthroughs. It doesn't matter that the roster that the catching the Pokemon is limited. They're still worth playing through multiple times. And both games have a good story to them. Even speaking, comparing them to the main series, even some spin-offs, some stories in the spin-offs. First and foremost, I enjoy the story. I play through and I pay attention to what's going on. And you speak in terms of the Mystery Dungeon series, there's an epilogue story, a post-game story. It's literally 2 games in one. And you compare that to Alpha, Sapphire, Omega Ruby, you have the Delta episode, which is literally a rewrite of Emerald in the way Suicune was implemented in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, because in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, the random encounter for Suicune as you're traveling through Johto and Kanto, that was a nod to Pokemon Crystal, that you just followed it around and stopped at the tower, caught it there. You know, it's different in the Gen 2 remakes. You end up stopping at Cerulean Cave and battling Suicune there. And the conditions of getting to that differ. It's still the same idea. You know, you have this Pokemon. Speaking in the sense of Rayquaza mode, with the way Rayquaza was implemented in Ruby and Sapphire, it was an extra Pokemon. You should catch it after beating the Pokemon League. But in Emerald, you could actually catch it before going to the Pokemon League, and if you did, you broke the game in half in terms of difficulty. So it was an option that you could totally utilize. It's just the Delta episode in Horas actually gave Rayquaza far more importance, far more significance than what he had before. Far more significance than he had before. So you have, not only do you have Rayquaza actually, not only do you have Rayquaza actually making an appearance, but you actually have to do something beyond just making Groudon kind of go back into hibernation. Something to that effect. So it's at the same time it's a rewrite of Emerald, it replaces Pearl and Emerald, but at the same time it goes beyond that, because again you got the origins and an explanation of how Mega Evolution began, and they take it further by bringing in the Meteor and leading up to the battle against the Oxus, and that was the whole thing was really cool. So yeah, I had to say personally that was all worth it. It was definitely worth playing through Cohen again, playing that story again, and then making it to the Delta episode, just seeing all of that happen. Just this brand new story, and all the new characters, and it was fun. It was really fun. And it's still, just looking back on it, revisiting it, it's the same with all of them, just comparing each of the different games. Now, Pokémon and Pokémon 2, there's not much of the post-game story, not much of that story. No. Really, in terms of the two Pokémon games, it's all about filling in your friend list with a game like Conquest. You can't actually speak much about Conquest without finished. So, yeah. Mystery Dungeon, you have your two stories in one game, and it's just whatever you want to do from there. Get all the Pokemon registered in your friend list, get your rank as high as it'll go, and the games like Mystery Dungeon, I like them because just how immersive they are, where you can sympathize like you're actually there. To a lesser extent, that's why I have to say the Pokemon game is, speaking in terms of what was added with the advent of X9, Pokemon game, I just had so much fun with it when I first unlocked it on X. And when I catch some new Pokemon or I'm getting ready to just mess around with some Pokemon for like battle theme, just even going through what Pokemon I have on my file, just mess around with the Pokemon of me a lot, and yeah, it was actually something I did in Pokemon X after I made it up to the Pokemon League, after beating the league and starting back on my file, just going through the Pokemon of me with all of my different Pokemon, doing the same thing with my first playthrough with Fly, doing the same thing with Alpha and Omega. It's especially fun just going into the Pokemon of me and playing with one of your legendary Pokemon, playing with Guy, the version mascot Pokemon, even just that mystery Pokemon, like for me, I have a few of them, most recently being Mew. Mew is so adorable in the Pokemon of me. So anyway, the old games stick with me, the new games stick with me. The TCG, I started it in the later part of Gen 3. Actually, I was in the middle of Gen 3, and just the fact, when I first started, it was just kind of a family thing. I heard about the league happening at the local library, so I got involved in that. That was really when I first got involved in organized play. So I did that for a while, and then with the advent of Gen 5, I got global rank invested in all that. So you have all that stuff going on. And the anime, I don't actually watch the anime on a regular basis. I have videos of some of the episodes. Like I still have VHS tapes of season 1 episodes. I have volume 1 of the first volume of Advanced Battle on DVD. I have some of the movies. Some are VHS, some are DVD. And then there's ones that I just borrowed from the library, like DVDs I just borrowed from the library. Some of the movies, some of the episodes, and yeah. And the manga, I don't actually have, but the ones that I've read, Reverse, I looked up online, what was that, but aside from kind of looking it up, there's also summaries. On Wikipedia, they have summaries of all the different manga iterations. There's Reverse, there's Pokemon Journey, there's Pokemon Adventures, there's got them all listed. And the library that I go to, they have volumes of Pokemon Adventures. I've read some of those. They are good. They're definitely a departure from what you would see in the anime, or even a departure from what you would see in the games. It's all the characters from the games. It's an original story. It actually deviates from the story in the games to an extent. The big notes with the Kanto era of Pokemon Adventures, the fact that some of the Kanto gym leaders, besides Giovanni, were actually Team Rocket commanders. Giovanni led it, but Lieutenant Surge, Sabrina, and a couple others. Koga, yeah, Lieutenant Surge, Sabrina, Koga, and Eric. Yeah, they were commanders within Team Rocket. And on top of that, you had the Elite Four of the Kanto region with their own agenda. And that was crazy. It was really crazy. But then going to the Johto saga of Pokemon Adventure manga, you have all the stuff with the Ice Mask, as it's called. And it's exciting. Like I just read last one about the gold and silver art. That was pretty exciting. It was cool how the main trainers, the main characters, actually got to use some of the legendary Pokemon, even if it was temporary. That was still really cool. And the Pichu that ended up actually, that was a good level. Yeah. Yep. I've read the manga, it's not a lot of it, but it's worth it. Even if you have to look it up you're looking up online, with the anime, even if you have to look that up online, look up on. There are websites that have all the different kinds of shows. Just watch one episode at a time. And Pokemon's official website, currently they have the first movie. You can watch it on Pokemon TV, you can watch it on there, and then they've always got episodes of the series that you can watch. And actually remember the first movie came out. I didn't know about its theatrical release, so I wasn't able to get the benefit, the bonus for watching it in theaters, but my parents got it on the pay-per-view. Second movie, they announced the theatrical release. I saw it, and they had the HD card, you could get more of that. Get an unlimited card to go to it as well, something like that. And I think I can get to go see that. Actually, no. Pokemon 2000 got the HD card. Pokemon 3 could get an J. Yeah, I never seen any of the Pokemon movies in theaters, so I missed out on those. But one thing I do remember from Pokemon 2000, Burger King was having some Pokemon-themed toys in their kids' meals, and I still have some of them. And then McDonald's, on a couple different occasions, they had, actually it's been multiple occasions, they've had Pokemon promotions with the Happy Meal. There's a couple different, there's like 2 or 3 different times. One being most recently they were distributing Evo to the Wi-Fi. If you got a Happy Meal, you got a Pokemon themed toy, and you got a promo. You got a card for the card game. It was just instead of 10 different cards or something like that, a small promo set. And I never got any of those myself. They're still nice. I saw what the most recent promos toys look like. Yeah, they look pretty cool. Actually, another thing to talk about is, since I got on the topic of toys and stuff, just some of the oddball merchandise things released in the years. I actually, among the stuff that I have the toy of the Kanto Pokédex they released, and I also have the Hoenn Pokédex they released. Yeah. I got all kinds of assorted plushies and stuff, and then besides all of that, I've got a Pokemon Stadium Bang. A Bang that's actually a battle stadium movie. It's Pikachu versus Meow. And then I've got some stuff from the series that they did. It was Think Chip series. It was literally, you had a bunch of Pokemon, and they plugged them on different things that had a special kind of adapter, and it was just a way of, it was, you could say it's precursors to Amiibo figures. And there was an oversized version of the Kanto Pokédex. There was a clear of Ash. And both of those were used to train your Pokemon. But the Ash was used to train your Pokemon, and the Pokédex can be actually used to just engage how stronger that Pokemon figure had got. And the stadium was used to battle the Think Chip Pokemon, and each Pokemon figure came with a card, and I still have a lot of that stuff. I've got a Pokemon board game released. It was just based on the Pokemon go through a map of the Kingdom region. I still have it somewhere. I'm sure it's put up at the moment. But yeah, besides that, I got some plushies, and then when I went to Awesome Con Indianapolis back in 2014, one of the merchant stalls had a Pokemon hat. It was modeled after Ash's hat from season 1 of the anime. And I saw that and I was like, I'm gonna get that. And then I got the idea, since Veronica Taylor was actually one of the people at that convention that had her autograph it, and I wore that hat quite a bit. And it's dirty, but yeah, I was just so excited, just getting to have that experience. And I guess I got some miscellaneous plushies. Most recently, I got a plushie from Pikachu and a plushie from Keldeo plushie I got from Hot Topic, I believe. Either Hot Topic or Civilian. And the Pikachu plushie is one of those that you can get out at Walmart. I got a Pokémon wallet with Pikachu's face on it. I found it at Hot Topic. I've got the Pikachu Amiibo figure, and all kinds of miscellaneous Pokémon stuff. And yeah, well, I just have a lot. But some other that was more gently stuff. There was this different kind of battle thing they had, something weird like that. Yeah. Pokemon. Coming on to 20 years, and it's stronger than it's been in a while. It's still going strong, and I definitely see it going on and on and on. And some people think they're running out of ideas. Some people, you got people thinking that it's gonna end soon. It's ending. It's making them as much money. It's just too popular to end. Perfectly honest, I was already a Pokemon fan when I got into actually playing games itself, but Pokemon was the very first RPG I played. I honestly did not really care for the role-playing genre, but I played Pokemon and got into that, and yeah, it was literally the first RPG series I played. And since then, I've played Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, Fire Emblem. Yeah, I played a few RPGs. Franchises since getting into the Pokemon series. Yeah. So that's definitely something that something that sticks with me. And no matter what anybody says, I'm not planning on giving this up anytime soon. This is part of my childhood. This is just a part of me. This is how it is. And there are plenty of people that feel the same way. Like, this is their childhood. In some cases, they're the same age. 15, mid-20s, whatever, and it was just such a big part of their childhood. It's such a big part if they're a kid now, just getting into the series now. It's literally, it's something, it's the kind of thing that sticks to you. And I've been playing different kinds of games, video games and stuff. Big chunk of my life. Gaming is a big part of my childhood, and you're just as much as getting up on Saturday morning watching Fox Kids, watching Kids WB, even some of the shows they used to have on Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon. That's just this back script, and you just you look back on it and you're like, wow, I remember that. That was a long time ago. Yeah, it's fun to look back on stuff like that. And milestone like this, you know, one of your all-time favorite series, or your all-time favorite shows, or whatever, reaching a 10 or 20-year milestone. Even longer than that, like Doctor Who, the 50th anniversary special was announced, and people were just so excited for it. So looking forward to it, especially even the people who have been with it since the pre-Moffat era, what do they call it? Anyway, Pokemon, train on. That's the catchphrase they're going with for the anniversary. Yeah, it's definitely something to be said with pride. It's just that big of a thing. And so, since I've been at this for a little over an hour and a half probably, give or take. All I gotta say is, it's been a lot of fun. Just being a part of this community, being a part of something like this. It's a hard thing to get into. I mean, now when you're talking and getting into the competitive circuit, whether it's the video game or the trading card game, there was a barrier to entry there. With the trading card game, you gotta learn to play the game. You gotta get some cards to build a deck. Then you gotta learn how those cards work together, learn how to play your deck. And that takes a lot of practice, that takes a lot of time. And there's a bit of a monetary investment. Obviously, you gotta buy the cards, and you also gotta be able to pay to travel. You gotta afford the travel costs, and you also gotta have the time to get around and do all that stuff. And on the video game, and really, with that, you just gotta have one of the games, and you gotta know what you're doing in terms of going through and finding out what each Pokemon does, what its abilities do, what all the different attacks do. You gotta learn all of that, learn the ins and outs of what each Pokemon does. And once you figure all of that out, you gotta know, like, okay, I want this Pokemon to be a wall, I want this Pokemon to be an attacker. You've gotta think about what role you want your Pokemon, what you want each Pokemon on your team to do. Again, there's a lot of learning that goes into playing the video game, really. There's learning that goes into anything like that, but this is the video games, learning how they work on a programming level. I mean, me personally, going through, Gen 6 and actually Gen 5, I utilized Joint Avenue and Block Food quite a bit. I mean, I didn't really do a lot of Wi-Fi battles in Black and White, but it was Black and White 2 where I really got into it. Because with that, you had Joint Avenue and you could just train up a Pokemon, no problem. And I did that quite a lot of them. And now in 6, you got the Super Training app on the PSS. And I personally like using Super Training because running in a wild Pokemon far more than necessary. Because Super Training anyway even if you're not going for a competitive team, it's cool being able to look at a graph and see, okay, your Pokemon's absolute minimum stats are this, and you raise each of their stats this amount. They have put this much effort in, they have this much to go. It's pretty nice, and yeah, even if you're not going for competitive, it's a nice way of optimizing your stat. And that's something actually it's something about items that you can get throughout the course of the game with the vitamins. If you finding them during the story mode, I've used them for that purpose. Like, get to the 8th badge or get to the Pokemon League and like, okay, this Pokemon can use more speed, so I'll use some Carbos, or this Pokemon can use some more special attacks, so I'll use the vitamin for that. And you gotta give some respect to people that can play any kind of game at a high enough level to really be considered professional. Like, some games, you got games that were intended for that, and actually happened, for example, it wasn't intended to be like that. It's pretty cool, actually, just seeing how this series is how sanctioned play started, seeing how big it is now, seeing how much involvement it's got in between official sponsorship and just the kind of attention it gets, because it's fun to watch, even if you don't really plan on getting into yourself, or you kind of know what's going on, you kind of mess around with it yourself. I mean, more than anything, I really just do worry more about building teams as I said, I've never seen around the Alpha Sapphire Boy, because it's fun. I do that just as really. I'm the kind of person that go back and forth. I do one thing, I do something else. Like, I'm on Alpha Sapphire between secret base hunting for protection of the flags, super training, to catching some Pokemon to fill in the Pokedex, wonder trading for a while, Wi-Fi battling for a while, and just all the different things. Just to keep it fresh in that sense. Keep it fun. Most recently, I'm actually working on getting the team trained up for the Kanto competition with the Global Link. It's just Kanto decks only. Number 1 to 149. No Mewtwo, no Mew. And 6v6 single battle, no items. To echo the rule set as it was in red, blue, and yellow. So, I'm excited. You know, and the entry prize, the participation gift is Lance's Dragonite from Red and Blue. Yeah, people who played Red or Blue, you know how Lance Game Shark is Dragonite to have Barrier? Well, now you can have that same Dragonite level 62 with Barrier and a few other moves. They showed off what its moves are going to be. It's a solid move set for Dragonite. And it's cool. Actually, the Dragonite, I got the GameStop distribution of Dragonite and ended up making it part of the trigger team for basic strategy. And yeah, it was one of those things. I'd never really built a trigger team before. I figured, I'll try it. And works. I like the idea of this group strategy. And that's one of those you gotta prepare for. You gotta have more defensive one offensive, where you've gotta have a mix of offense and defense in order to pretty much be able to survive, set up Trick Room, and then have other Pokemon take advantage of the speed priority being reversed. But you gotta be careful, because like everything else, there's a counter for it. But yeah, one of the things that I've been doing, and part of preparing the team for this global link event, deck snapping to find the decks that I finally got one. Got a focus that I want to use. And it's just a matter of sprint training to get the 6 Pokemon up par. Actually, not 6, but 5. Because one of them is actually a Kangaskhan sent from Light. It was a Dream World Kangaskhan, so it's got the little inner focus. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure if that's hidden or not. I know Kangaskhan can have the Scrappy ability, which means it can hit Ghost type Pokemon with normal type moves. Yeah, I haven't really worried too much about building decks from CC. Again, not having anything to really play against. It's whatever. Yeah, the video games. I think it's far more accessible. If anything, I either battle through Global Lane or I battle through free battle stop. Just raiding battles. I don't strive to be number one. Honestly, I just battle just to do something. It just is a thing to do in the game. It is not the only thing to do, but it's an option. It's a fun thing to do, and it's I don't know, one of those things that's always been fun to game and be able to step into the last one. Else to say. I like Pokémon. A lot of people like it. Hey, it's definitely something you can share with people. Me, your family. It's just one of those things, and really got it started. I was already in I already like watching Pokemon series, and my parents decided that we should get some Pokemon games. And it was some navigating games, those game cards. It's one of those. Find out what it is, give it a chance. Like it, just that's what I've done with Pokemon. No matter what anybody might say. Phantom, if you want to call it that. Even gone so far as to fan art and stuff for Pokemon. And I'll show you anything there. So if you're a fair person that feels that if you've never really given Pokemon a chance, that's a good time. And what a lot of people are doing, a lot of people that get my age, the people that are getting one of the games, getting the game that they started with. That friend of mine, he wants to get Pokémon Yellow, because that was the game that he started with. And he told me about how his brother, they took turns on it, they played it in Pokemon Stadium using a transformation. They did not have Game Boy. They had the transformation stage. They played through it that way. I didn't even have that. I missed out on the game entirely because of that. It's no big deal because again, I've been able to go back and play more parts of it. And yeah, I actually currently have Pokemon Yellow sitting in my Game Boy. And I'm not being Game Boy Color or Game Boy 1. I mean, a brick. Great. So, times. Especially when those times I had playing the game through Pokemon Stadium or Pokemon Stadium 2 and renovation glitch, missing no. I feel like I've rambled on for long enough, so I think I'm gonna just wrap this up about here. Pokemon is a fun series. There's a lot to it. There's a lot to this franchise. And I personally don't see it going anytime. It is what it is. And here's to another 20 years or more. So, until the next topic, whatever the next topic ends up being, it's signing off. Take care, everybody.